Okay. So, Ustelation, you're not allowed to sit, al safsel, on the chair, ishtanidi sheresuro, fil orach shenod zebezet. You're not allowed to sit in a chair that moves. You know, I heard the extreme chumrah and extreme kula. I heard when I was young, I had a hard time understanding this halacha. So I remember when I was learning Hilchos when I was young, a guy explained to me, it doesn't mean that to sit on a chair that wobbles. It means in LA, I saw that. I came to LA, everyone has the swings out, you know, the couple swings. So some learned that's what it means. You're getting this swing and you swing together.
That's what you can do.
That you can do. But the Tzemach Tzedek didn't understand it that way. He understood that any chair that wobbles do not sit with your wife. And somehow, I don't know, it must be the cultural thing, because today I can't imagine, because I was sitting on, I get annoyed when the chair's wobbling.
And you sit next to her on the airplane?
Yeah, airplane.
Or a car.
Yes. Yeah, you cannot sit next to your wife if you're sure going to bump into her. And an airplane is a serious problem, because there's no way, I am very tall, there is no way whoever sits next to me I don't bump into. That doesn't have to be my wife. But it's interesting, your wife, Nidah, you're not allowed to sit in the way, for sure you're going to touch her. So if I fly with my wife, which is not clean, we always take aisle seats next to each other. Our excuse is always like, you know, like that. But you cannot, I know people are not married in Halacha, if your wife is a Nidah, you cannot sit next to her in the plane because you're for sure going to touch her. That's Halacha. So anyway, sitting on a chair has to be...
Like to a sofa. What do you mean? Yeah. What does it mean? Not that it wobbles. It's a sofa, so when you sit in the sofa...
It wobbles. Aber im Geberste Koisel, if it's attached to the Mitzvah, and with the Leisha, like Kodesh Kvedum, and Kodesh Kvedum. Okay, so he says that if it's a heavy chair, you're allowed to sit. So if you couch, if you don't sit in the same pillows, it should be okay. That's where it's accepted.
The way, when I learned this the first time, the way I understood is because you're filling the other person's movement. It's almost like you're being touched by that person.
Some learn that way.
But that's why they couch on a separate pillow.
Well, then a car is a problem. Your wife gets into the car, you don't feel it.
There's no other option. We learn about this.
I learned you're supposed to, in like the back of a bench, you should put something in between.
It doesn't feel it.
I'm talking about if many learn like you say, that because you feel a move. So you're sitting in the car, your wife is getting into the car.
You don't feel
unless you have a heavy Cadillac or I don't know which car. Yeah, the SUV.
I mean, the whole car is moving.
The whole car
But
moves.
the chair's not attached to each other.
Yeah, but the whole thing moves. It has to be more than that. It has to be more than that. You're not allowed to go with your wife for a drive. If it's just a romantic drive. You're going to the wedding, you're going somewhere. If you're going to drive in the PCH, it's just not clean, a drive, what helps is a hecker. Even though the Tzemach doesn't speak it out, because but food helps a hecker, the more so, the food is a Nidah, the more helps a hecker. So here, all you have to do, if you go for a drive with your wife, is just put the pocketbook in between the two of you.
Where you make a destination.
Or go somewhere, he's saying.
Well, let's say I'm not going somewhere, I'm just taking a drive. I have no destination.
I never knew that. Heck, it works for
Yeah, for sure, because if it works, this is the whole,
you're saying.
it works for the Gemara. Okay. See, I think you see from all this, what?
To the plan for a stroll, like you can walk around the block or something.
No. That's no. You're not walking with your wife. It's walking in a wagon. It's going out.
You're going the PCH. You're going on a
PCH. When you go walk with your wife, it's okay. But you want to take a long drive. You want to have the children out. It's a whole different atmosphere.
What if, let's say you have a habit on Sunday or a custom, you go out on Sunday, you go someplace for a hike. You drive up to Malibu, you go for an hour hike, or you go up to the hills, whatever.
Well, that's if you're going with your wife alone, it's you and your wife, and spending time, you should have a hecker.
Where your guy? Is it child a hecker?
A child, yes. A child is the best thing to break a romance. They know how to cry at the exact time. They know how to, they time it perfectly.
Why do we, I mean, the whole idea that we have these reminders that we don't get into romance, but why do we always go like with the airplane, we go to be strict? I mean, nothing is gonna happen in an airplane, okay? There are 300 people watching you. Okay, you touch them, but what's the big deal?
Next thing,
It's a reminder to start.
No. Next thing is you might give it a hug and a kiss. Why not?
With an airplane, we're not attack her.
I really haven't heard of my life.
I mean, but why do we go for the, you know,
A person. It's not your person.
No, but now we're getting a little bullshit because kissing is also
That's an instant answer. Hugging, let me just explain. Hugging and kissing your wife, which is a Nidah, is an Issa Da'is.
That's it.
That's allowed in the Torah, according to the Rambam, goes to the Hashem. So it's very, you know, you sitting next to each other. Let's face it. Look, sitting next to your wife in a plane, you'd rather feel her touching you than a shiksa touching you, no matter who she is. That's the reality. When you marry a wife, you appreciate your wife 1,000 times more than anyone else. So, you know, she's a Nidah, so touching her, you know, just give her a hug. Forget yourself. That's how it is. So the Rabbi, ein zu klein Shish immer bemitte. Now I sleep with her in a bed. Everyone's stressed. You can't sleep in one bed. And you know, I tell this to everyone. I've been called middle of the night. A couple once called me up. We're in a hotel, and my wife just got a period. We only have one bed. I always tell them, always, it's the same price. Make sure you take 2 beds. You can share the bed with your wife, but in case your wife becomes in it, and I said, there's nothing you can do. Why did you just tell the thing that you're not feeling well and you're vomiting and you need another bed? Asked him afterwards what happened. It's exactly what happened. He told the manager, I was feeling well, and he needs to in the rooms. He moved them in the room, nothing happened. But you cannot allow to sleep with your wife in one bed, which is in it. Nothing, there's no ifs, ands, and buts. Mit der Philokait, we have ein Organisation, even everyone has a bed cover, the Philin Shofman basement, there's even 2 beds, or Mittes Nogezev is every set. This is extremely common, people who have small apartments and they want to have big beds, and the beds touch each other. The beds are not allowed to touch each other, but it's just a masha separation is good enough. Kabbalah and the Chassidim are very makbid because the Rizal said that you should make sure that the covers don't touch each other. One of the Dari was very, very makbid. He said that you don't, you know, your chaloimus could be terrible and other things could happen. So the Rizals told us to meet them to make sure that the beds are separate so much that the blanket should not fall onto each other. He said, even there's one curtain around it. Do you know why people used to have a curtain around the beds? Mosquitoes. No, it looks romantic.
In Brazil, they still have a trolley tower.
The Americans don't know. So when I remember learning a Gemara, it hit me once. They had a thing around it to keep the bees, mosquitoes. If you don't have a screen, we go crazy. Yes.
In the case of the hotel, if they had their child with them, there was one bed with the child.
No, child does not help. So it's good that he's very good that he asked. The person would say clearly, a child will not help in one bed. Even the other places, a child will help, but that's why you go out. We should just ask for 2 beds. So the worst thing comes to worst, she comes to them.
Can you put up a mechitza between you? Like put up some barrier that you're not touching?
Well, that's the kid. You use the kid as the
No,
barrier.
no, I mean a mamash barrier. You put
One bed is not good. If the beds are separate beds and touching it doesn't stop.
I heard of people that they get a big bed and they put 2 mattresses on. There's no way that's.
That's one of them. It's clearly says it's not good. Many people have one backboard, you say? What is it called? Headboard. That, a big machlek is that people are making. It could be making. They have a separate bed, board Okay, that's okay. You can't have the beds touching each other. Have to be separated. Okay. Now comes a sensitive topic. I was debating driving here. Should talk about this, not talk about this. But no one's going to fire me over here if I speak about this. That's he says, "Lo yistakel afilu be'kevi." You're not going to look at her heel. Lo b'chol ha'makomis ha'mechusa shebo. You're not going to look any place of a body that's normally covered. Middle yistakel komis ha'meli. They say your wife is a Nidah. You're allowed to enjoy looking at her in the places that's normally uncovered. The places that you're allowed to enjoy her face. The places that's normally, but the places that's normally covered, you're not allowed to watch her. You're not allowed to enjoy watching her. So some people have asked me more than once, look, I walk in the street, I see worse. And said that it's different. I said, I always keep the marshal. On the plane, you can sit next to a shiksa if you bump into her, but your own wife is different. So, your wife, you think about her more, and it's your wife, it's a devil, so that's where you can I've explained this more than once, because people always ask me, does a woman have to wear stockings in the home? Does a woman have to cover her hair in the home? Covering the hair is a big chayzer shayim. So people ask me, my wife, can I see her without the tichon on? I just want to explain clearly what says the Hilchos. It's very interesting. The Hilchos and the Tzedek both hold a woman has to wear stockings. They hold shoik me'isha erve. The Hilchos holds is above the ankle. Shoik is not. So a woman that's going to the Rav and the Tzedek clearly has to have the legs covered. It's very interesting. The Tzedek is very machmir. Another place he wants to talk about the hair. He's not saying on the kul under him a little bit here. All here has to be covered. I always tell a woman, I once had asked me to speak to Chabad woman, I said to them, a very interesting thing, I said to them, none of the ladies here are dressed like the shiksas. None of you. Baruch Hashem, none of you look. What does the Eitzah tell us? That we cut corners. Kid dress, no one wears pants, no one wears miniskirt, above the knee just. You know what I mean? And the Eitzah always they don't run around the streets without tichon. Don't hear, no one. But but where tichon half the hair is uncovered. The Eitzah has this. Don't do a complete job. And if you see this, you learn that's called begama malchus. You want to do something, he doesn't let you do it complete. I always tell people they keep kashrus, right? But no one's going to go into McDonald's. But you go to the store, chips doesn't have extra. Probably it's kosher. We like to cut corners. In sneers, that's unfortunately people cut corners. There's no heter to walk on the street without stockings. And according to the Zohar, and the Rabbi brings it on Hilchos Krishma, the Zohar says if you want to have healthy children and you want to become wealthy, your wife should be sneezed to get home. It's better than the red band. How do you say the red? I don't know where it comes from. This is a Zohar. The Hilchos brings a Zohar that says very clearly, it's frightening to have an unhealthy child. It's frightening. I watch sometimes couples have a child who's not well. It's frightening. Zohar says if you want to have healthy children and you want to be wealthy, your wife should be sneezed in at home. The Zohar talks about the hair. Now I want to explain something. The hair is the least part of the sneeze. Many people are very confused about the hair. A girl, before she gets married, is supposed to be uncovered with her hair. She shouldn't cover her hair. Hair is a less level of sneeze. The art is showing them hold, that the Balatoises hold, that a woman at home does not have to cover her hair. The art is in the showing period. The Rambam and Toises. So we Ashkenazim says we follow the Zohar. The Zohar says at home you should cover the hair too, but the Armenian is showing hold because the hair is less sneeze. Still, the Zohar says if you want healthy children, if you want to be wealthy, this week's parsha, it says,
wealthy in this world or the next world?
This world. The Zohar says this world. The Zohar says this week's parsha. It says that who's about Avram says. So the Zohar says, why does the Torah say this? The Torah says that Avram said to Sarah, say Ish Yerchoisihi, because I'll get something out of you. So he says the the main
Reason.
Hatzlacha, mazel of Parnasa is your wife. Your wife is the whole Hatzlacha of Parnasa.
Does it work the other way also?
No.
The guy's not having stuff, it's also the wife?
Let me take what the Zohar is. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. The Gemara says, Rabbi said to his Talmidim, if you want to become, Rabbi was also busy with schools. Rabbi said, respect your wife and you will become wealthy. So Gemara Masechtas B'Mitzvah look at the Achnun Tesum Adal. Siakri Neshechaychi, you should give respect to your wife. So if you're not Matzliach, it's your fault. You don't give enough respect, Danny. So if you give her, I'm saying, so the Zohar does it. Zohar makes it more than the Gemara. The whole
So the guy is not Matzliach, it's either because he didn't give respect, or because his wife is not sneezing in the house.
Right.
One of the two.
Even in the house. Kosher on the street, even now. So I'm going to explain something. But the Zohar says the hair has to be covered. Is a kavachayim. That means even the hair kosher in the legs. You know what I mean? I want to say another interessant. Most of you adults over here.
Are long socks enough or stockings after?
Yeah, covered has to be. You know, if you really want to know the halacha, the Rav says, according to the Rav, you shouldn't be nude stockings. You know, when you mamish see the legs. You know, I have a bunch of daughters. I know all about this. Nude stockings, this and this, that. There are stockings you can't even tell they're wearing stockings. Because mamish see through and
That's not good.
That's not good. There has to be stockings. There have to many hold. It has to be non-see-through stocking. If you want to be makel, but it has to be that it discolors the leg. You know what I mean? You know, I want to tell you the sound of Zohar Kodesh. A very profound Zohar Kodesh. Really profound Zohar Kodesh. The Zohar says that jealousy in the world, we call jealousy is a terrible thing. The guy's jealous on his wife, and he's paranoid about her. The Zohar says if you really love your wife, and you really do love her, you don't want her to share with anyone. That means, Kamei Kanis, what the Zohar says, that love has knuas in it. I don't know how to say it in English.
Love comes with jealousy.
The jealousy. True love has jealousy to it. Meaning to say, you want your wife for yourself. You're not interested in sharing her femininity with the world. That's what true love is. The Zohar says, this is my wife, and I want her for myself. You know, I once had I used to give a shiur in Bristol over here in Pico years ago, once a week, and see this. So I had a couple who begged me to make Tzedek. She used to come, and I didn't want because they wanted to keep ties with Mishpocha. So I asked them. She was always theistic. He was an Israeli. Why did you get attracted to her? He says, where did you grow up? He says, I grew up in Tel Aviv and the beach. He says, I grew up on the beach. She happens to be just a fine, sneezed lady. She was an architect. She was very respectful. So she says, that's what I loved about her the first day I saw her. So this is a lady who's going to be all for me. I watched all the girls on the beach. That's enough. Now I want to settle down. That was his words. So I told him that's what it says in the Zohar. The Zohar says a healthy man wants his wife for himself. And not interested in sharing her femininity with the street. That's true love comes with a little bit of jealousy. You know, it's a terrible thing that people are very mezalzel in sneeze. And sneeze is very important. And people always ask, what about Shon Bayis? Don't worry about Shon Bayis. All of a sudden, there's a frame of Shon Bayis. The guy, they tell me, I once told the guy, very nicely, a lady came to me with her husband, said to him, do me a favor, you want to meet? I cannot meet this week. You are very nicely dressed. I'm not very blonde. I said, come next week. And then I said to him, why don't you tell him? Shon Bayis problems. Says, you do everything that your wife wants? You're such a wonderful husband. Everything you do? No, you could just say you don't want it to look this way. Just don't be afraid. You should know deep down, women like it. Deep down, in a way, you should know women like that you take charge. I don't want you to dress for the world. You're mine. Deep down, the woman likes it. Believe it or not.
So practically speaking, according to the Zohar, a woman's supposed to cover her hair at home. To what extent is that? When she goes to sleep, her hair should be covered?
According to the Zohar, when she goes to sleep, her hair should be covered.
What do you wear to sleep? I mean,
We're wearing yarmulke.
place in Hilchos, you know. Get used to it, like you wait on
Even during Tashmish, yeah?
I mean, isn't the point of
intimate
her,
your wife, you
isn't
can
the
have
point
it-
of her here that
Let
you,
me answer this question. Yeah, when you're intimate your wife, you can have it the way you want. There's only certain halachas you have to have. The light cannot be on, but besides those halachas, your wife doesn't, doesn't have to wait.
Even after the Zohar?
Yeah, because she's not dressed. That's worse. Because the Chiddush is here. The Chiddush is here. What do you say, Binyamin? What do you say?
but, I mean, the point of her covering her hair is for you.
You want her, no.
So I'm saying
cover
that-
his sleeves. If you want your wife, a man has a right to look at his wife when she's clean. Anyway, besides Oisamuk, he wants her to look, whatever.
Right, I was saying,
tell-
according to the Zohar, you're saying you have to cover your hair all the time, even when
Meaning
sleeping
when
outside.
it's not just for no reason. Just doing the housework, and if you want to be together with your wife, you want to look at her beauty, that's what she's there for you. There's nothing wrong. So he needs to say, just you're working, doing housework, take care of the children, no reason why she shouldn't sneeze. But if you're intimate, that's what a part of intimacy is that way. We men are very visual. That's what turns us on. Nothing else.
Here's a question. If that's the case, why do some Jewish women shave their heads?
I don't know.
Because it seems counterintuitive.
That's true. It boggles
Because
my
then you have to
mind.
rubber band the shapes
No,
of
no,
the
no,
wand
rubber
for things
band.
to work.
It is.
Well, it's like Chatzitz on the mikvah, maybe.
No. It doesn't make sense. To me, it doesn't make sense.
Seems way.
Yeah, that's what
I've heard this question many times when women who cover their hair and say they look better than their
That's
regular
true.
hair.
That's a good question too. Shape makes them look better.
Is that a problem?
No, it's not, well, that's a long skirt, but that's true. But I mean, that's probably that's a separate problem. It's a separate issue. So, if you want to be rich, Danny, you want to be rich.
Solo ones.
I should have a lot of respect for my wife. I want to tell you truthfully, someone told me, he heard me say this Gemara once in Shul, and he took upon himself that, Sean Weiss was great, he was going to show great respect. He told me he didn't become religious, Panos of the king, 1,000 times easier. Not going to say he became rich, but he said he used to struggle terrible. He says the same business, same Panos started working. And I once saw in the Kabbalah say that I would like to remind, I don't like to quote things that are only 100%, but I'm on the show once saw that if a person's panos is difficult, you should ask your wife to daven, because according to the Zohar, stuff of the panos is in your wife. So respect your wife and make sure she gets sneezing. The man sneezing, you will become a wealthy person.
Ja,
Yeah, the Alter Rebbe says a woman has to.
heeft respectability geweest. In Hilchos, schmissen man is het.
Yankee, what's dit?
No, all the short.
With respect.
You better husband.
No, really, with respect, hold on.
You say respect means respect means talk to your wife like you would talk to someone who you need to demand respect. Seek what the young people don't realize. You could tell your wife the exact same thing respectfully without being annoyed. I was very annoyed this week. She misplaced my telescope and I was going to find it. So I a little older, I'm calm, and I just said, I'm looking for my telescope and I don't find it. Where did you put it? You know what I mean? And I was young, and I says, wait, you always put things away, you always can't find it. I was once upon a time young too. But you could say to her the same thing, and you get a lot more mileage. When you respect, the truth is when you respect yourself, you respect others. If you have no self-respect, it's very hard to respect another person. So really, respect starts with yourself. If a person likes himself, he likes others. You can't love someone only as much as you love yourself. You can't respect someone else, but you treat the person. I always tell myself, I want to talk to my wife the exact same way I want her to talk to me. I don't want her to scream at me. I don't want her to look down me.
So when she gets annoyed with me, I don't want that. Why should I do it to her? That's what I always tell myself. So if you're going to get annoyed with your wife. You're living under one roof. I always tell people you get annoyed with yourself, and without your wife. You tell yourself, what did I think? What did I think yesterday? We get annoyed with ourselves. So how can you not get annoyed with your spouse? But if you get annoyed, you got to express yourself and just say that, in a very respectful way. I tell you what I learned many years ago. I think I said it once over here. Many years ago, beginning of the internet was introduced. My wife was very quick at it. I asked her, do me a favor, get me an art seat. Get on the internet, make sure I have an art seat. It's very difficult being so tall, flying, and don't have an art seat. It's extremely difficult. Come on. She didn't do it. I asked her to get me on. So my first reaction was, what did I ask you already? So I says, and I think to myself, what do you think she's going to say to me? She's going to say, what do you think I was doodling with my fingers? I have children to take care. I said, nothing. I said to her, looks like I'm the last one on the list. Not important. Yeah, I'm sure you were so busy, but I'm not important. She drops everything and gets on the computer and takes care. Since then, it's years, it's over 10 years ago. I always say when I get annoyed with her, it looks like I'm the last person on the list. It works marvelous. See, that's how you speak to her respectfully. You speak to her in a respectful way. And if you speak to her respectfully, she talks to you. You should know what's the two-way street. You should know I raised 10 children. None of them ever screamed at me. They never raised their voice. I never raised my voice on my children. If you don't scream at them, they're never going to scream back at you. It's always that way. You speak to your wife respectfully, she'll never scream at you. Because, and if she does, I remember newlywed one time, my wife raised the voice, I said, I looked at her, I don't talk to you that way, do I? That was the last time she screams at the children, but not at me. It works that way. It's in life and relationship, it always works that way. I just told a young guy, looking for a shidduch, young Rabbi asked me a question. I asked him, who are your friends? Who are your true friends over here? He doesn't know. I says, all your classmates, your true friends are the people who they respect you. If you think that the guy thinks you're a fool, or you're not, you're not on the right side of the political guy, you don't want to be close to the guy. Why not? Because he doesn't respect you. So if you're looking for shidduch, you must find someone who's respectful. You know what I tell young people? If a woman dressed sneezing, that's a sign she has self-respect. Not sneeze shows totally no self-respect. Sneeze means you have a self-awareness of yourself and self-respect. You cannot sneeze, they can just, in Yiddish we call it tziflay. I don't know how you say it in English. I say tziflay in English. You're not self-respect. That's what it is. So you should talk to your wife the way you would talk to me. I don't think you would get annoyed when you scream at me. See, unfortunately, we let our frustration out to the people we're closest to. That's really what it is. We have a hot day at work, and who suffers? It's our spouse, and we come home, Shem Shemayim. I don't mean I had a great day, but the dinner's not ready. That's our problem. That's our problem in the relationship. Okay, we'll start over here with this. Go ahead.
That's good.
Everyone can either keep it or give it back to me, and I'll give it